Hey guys! Today I have something special for you. The first aircraft carrier you will get your hands on, the USS Langley at Tier 4. Now at this stage of development, only the American Tech Tree has carriers, so at the moment it does not have any competition from any of the nations. As you probably know, carrier gameplay is quite different from any other ship you will sail in World of Warships, and it's being compared by many to playing an RTS for a reason. You will pretty much spend all your game on the tactical map, accessed by pressing M, commanding your airplane squadrons about while keeping your carrier out of harm's way with the help of waypoints. Now I absolutely love this style of play, and I think it's far from boring, as even if all your planes are reloading, you constantly have to follow the battle and judge what's going to happen in order to be effective. You also have huge damage potential, but to fully realize it, you will have to train yourself quite a bit. I would definitely suggest to give it a shot, but I fully understand that a lot of you will more opt for cruisers and battleships instead. Now, before we go into details with the Langley, just a hint that your timestamp to the gameplay stand ready in the description below, should you opt to jump ahead. Although in this video, I'm only aiming automatically and not manually, by using crossfire with my squadrons I was able to cause almost 66,000 damage with 17 torpedo hits. Now with this settled, let's see where the Langley comes from. Well, it definitely had quite a journey during her life, that's for sure. They finished building it in 1912, and it served as a collier, a coal transport ship during the First World War under the name of USS Jupiter. After the war in 1920, it was rebuilt into the US Navy's first aircraft carrier and renamed after Samuel Pierpont Langley, an American aviation pioneer. It continued to serve as a carrier from 1922 up to the Second World War, where it unfortunately met its end at the hands of Japanese dive bombers in 1942. It was so badly damaged that the crew had to abandon ship, and the escort ships were forced to sink it in order to avoid it getting into enemy hands. Unfortunately, its crew was later mostly lost at sea, as the ships they have been transferred to were also sunk during the war. So what's the Langley like in the game? Well, it's bloody slow, that's one. You will only be able to do 16 knots at most, and need 800 meters just to turn. Combine this with the maximum 20mm of armor on it, and the health pool of 33,700, that's not really amazing for this size of ship, and you pretty much have your answer why carriers should never ever be put on the front line. In fact, you need to tuck them away as far as possible, as they get easily spotted from over 10 km away from sea and already from 7.4 km away from the air, and once you get spotted, you definitely will become public enemy number 1. Oh, and by the way, carriers also just love to catch on fire, so there is also that. It naturally does not have any main battery guns. If you want to shoot stuff, you are in the wrong kind of ship, son. Although it has a secondary armament consisting of 4 127mm guns, they have a firing range of only 3.5 km, so most of the time you will be long dead before the enemy gets in their range, and they are not that powerful in the first place. The air coverage is a little bit better, but don't expect to fight off whole squadrons with it. You have 16 12mm guns and 4 76mm guns installed. But then again, you really need fighter support as well if you are under attack. But now, let's see the good bit. Fully upgraded, and here you can upgrade quite a bit, but more on this later, you have 30 planes in total, and you can control at any given time 3 squadrons of 6 planes each. The layout depends on the upgrades you take. It can vary between one fighter squadron with 2 torpedo bomber squadrons, or the other way around. I definitely suggest to go with the more offensive layout here, also because torpedoing the enemy ships is just plain hilarious. So let's have a look at those upgrades then. Starting with the hull, it gives you 6 additional planes to work with. It also gives you some extra HP, but the amount of it is insignificant really. Next I would probably go for flight control upgrades to allow you to command 3 squadrons at a time instead of the 2 you start with. You have to go about the 2 fighter plus 1 bomber layout first, so it's the second upgrade you really want. Lastly, upgrade the fighters that will increase their damage quite significantly, as before this they will be really underwhelming. So judgment time. Yeah, I think I will like carriers quite a bit. I have to sit down and learn the manual aiming, which you can do by pressing Alt, but even without it I find it a lot of fun to play. The good thing about the Langley is that thanks to those torpedoes, it will remain a threat to the enemy even in higher tier battles as well. But enough talk, let's see exactly what the Langley can do. Alright, so here we are in the Langley. It seems we got into a tier 5 game in a standard battle. Looking at the enemy team's lineup, we see that there will be, I think, 2 level 4 Miyogis and 3 level 5 battleships, Congos to be exact, and 1 Independence, the enemy aircraft carrier. So these guys will be my priority targets. Playing aircraft carriers, you definitely want to be prioritizing the battleships as they are the easiest to hit, and if you can get rid of them, it gives you a huge advantage to your team. So in the beginning, first thing I do, I straight away put the ship to maximum speed and I set some basic waypoints in the very back of the map to make sure I'm not spotted in the first half of the game for sure. So I will just sail along. I usually don't go really to the edges of the map and to the, in this case for example, to the J line, but I will stay around I, the I line. Because the further away you are from the front, the safer you are, but at the same time, the longer time your planes have to fly in order to get back to refill, for example. Alright, so it seems there is quite a bit of huge concentration of battleships in the northern sector, so that's where we will be heading. So in the meantime, I already released all 3 squadrons, my fighters and 2 torpedo bombers. Okay, so first thing we do, there is an enemy fighter squadron engaging a friendly torpedo bomber squadron, so we will give them some support fire. But we have to notice that we are also taking fire from the enemy battleships and enemy cruisers, so we have to take that into account as well. Oh, we just shot down a plane. Alright, so as you did see, we did use the auto-aim.
Returning to ship.
What we did is, oh, that's excellent. It's 1, 2, 4. Not bad. So we scored 4 hits. And we did achieve that by attacking the same target with both squadrons at the same time. One from each side. So that means even if the battleship turns to avoid our torpedoes, they only can avoid really one of the salvos. And one of the main features of using auto-aim is, if you did see, is that it's a widespread. Now, as pros and cons, pros is that the torpedoes really fan out, so they increase the chance of a hit. But negative side is that it's more easy to avoid. The torpedoes are launched at quite a distance, so it gives the ships more time to react. And you will always only score hits with a couple of your torpedoes. So that's why people tend to use the manual aim by using Alt. Because in that scenario, the torpedoes are launched in a straight line, so it's much more concentrated. It's easier to miss, but if you hit, it's a lot more devastating. That cruiser is pretty much doomed. In the meantime, we are reloading all the squadrons. You have to reload fighters as well. You see the number of bullets you have representing the ammunition, and once you are low or completely run out, you have to get back to base to refill. Alright, so let's just relaunch everything. You always have to be on top of things. with your aircraft carriers, especially in Langley, it's so slow. If you see that one flank is about to collapse, you have to get out of harm's way, because you can't outrun pretty much anything. Okay, there are some ships here, which are definitely a threat, so I will try to get rid of them as priority. They've given away their position, and again I try to do a spread. One from behind, one from the side, when he's turning. And let's see what we can get out of this. There are a lot of torpedoes going in. Up, there we go. And there you have it. It's not precise at all. We had one torpedo hitting from all the torpedoes that we fired, but we caused some flooding, and flooding is good, because it means until it's repaired, the ship is sinking, so it takes damage. And quite often you will see that while not being able to completely finish off the enemy battleship, for example, if you can leave it on low health, flooding will often finish it off. Okay, we just shot down that enemy plane. You definitely have to give enough work to your fighters as well. They are very, very useful. Harass the enemy planes, harass the enemy fighter torpedo squadrons, take out the enemy fighters so they can't harass yours. And you can give a lot of trouble to the enemy carriers if they are not careful. You can definitely give also coverage to your torpedo squadrons, because they will likely harass your torpedo squadrons in return. And you have a limited number of planes, so it's quite easy to run out of planes if you are careless and if the enemy focuses their anti-aircraft fire on you. Alright, so in the meantime, we have reloaded our torpedo squadrons again. So it's time to go for another run. Still, concentration of enemy ships is greatest up top. So I think it's time we got ourselves another battleship. You can also use your planes to scout for you. It's quite useful, especially if you can spot carrier, for example. Taking fire. Alright, so this is quite good. That battleship will come through between the islands, so his ability to maneuver will be quite limited. Okay, and there we go. Creating a nice little crossfire for him. Approaching target. So one engaging enemy from there, and as he is planning to turn, we give him, he turns right into our other torpedo salvo. So that's how you do a crossfire. You see, quite a lot of torpedoes will miss, but the fan will eventually get him. And we scored in total 2 torpedo hits, which is not amazing, but you will do consistent damage using the automatic aiming system. But I can't really imagine a scenario where manual aiming wouldn't be better. It's something I'm learning at the moment. It's going quite well actually, and it's super effective. So you see, it takes quite a lot of time to reload your torpedo squadrons. You have to get back all the way, and then there is a 30 or 35, I'm not sure, half a minute long reload, and then you still have to launch them, which is another 10 seconds, and then you have to get back to the front. So yeah, definitely make sure you make your runs worthwhile, cause it takes a lot of time, and if you mess it up, probably the next minute you won't be able to fire at anything. Okay, and that's not good. We are in a bad situation. That's way out of line here. Probably we have been spotted, and so the enemy ships will definitely focus fire on us. So we have to deal with this threat. First with this battleship for sure. It's already taking shots at us, I think. Yep, there we go. So that was a big mistake from my behalf. Okay, that cruiser has been sunk. So now it's time to focus down this battleship, and another flooding cause, so that's excellent. And let's see if we can get some more torpedoes on its sides.
Engaging enemy.
And there is fire, we put it out, but we are taking a lot of damage. This is not good.
Problem solved, sir.
And yeah, you can outrun even battleships. Oh, that's a good one. 1, 2, can we get 3? Yes! Excellent! So those were a lot of good hits. Bit more flooding is always nice. And we slowly crawl away, but we are still taking fire. Which is awful. And it's all my fault. Alright, go back to squadrons, reload. And then we go another run. Okay, that's a good one. So, you see? Those torpedoes were launched manually. They go in a straight line, and they have a huge damage potential if you manage to score with most of them. So there is a big difference between the two aiming types. Enemy scout. We will take him down. Now scouts can be launched from battleships as well. They are quite annoying because they can reveal your position, which is a very useful resource. So definitely go and take them out whenever you can. Now we have to be careful here, because we will take fire from that battleship. And the cruiser, there we go. Alright, time for another run. It's not perfectly aimed. It's a good idea to wait after a couple of seconds after the first wave, so the enemy battleship can turn, and then you launch the second wave. Oh, we almost got one of the other battleship as well. And this looks good. This is really promising. Let's see how many. So we can score 1, 2. But I think we score some hits on the on the battleship behind it as well. One at least. Yes. No, actually 2. Oh, that's just hilarious. In the meantime, we shot down 10 planes already. You can be very effective with your fighters as well. And we are still taking fire. Yeah, once you are out of position, you are in a heap of trouble. And the match was actually quite close up until this point, but now, suddenly, the enemy is starting to get the upper hand. We can't have any of that. So it's now pretty much down to the carriers to take out those remaining battleships. Battleships have a huge range, so if you are spotted, they can take you apart from a million miles away. That was another good hit.
Maintaining present course. Ready.
Alright, so squadrons back in the air.
Standing by for instructions. Over.
Come on.
Airborne.
The enemy battleship is going for the enemy cap. And you see, if your squadron has been softened up, only launching only 2 torpedoes, even a battleship can dodge that. Well, let's give him something that's a bit harder to dodge. Yeah, evade that one. Okay, our battleship is now capping. And torpedoes are good for resetting the base as well. We did just do that. And we have to keep on doing it, because there are 2 enemy battleships capping versus our 1 battleship doing the same to their cap. So, oh shit. Well, I'm about to die. Unfortunately, I still need a lot of time to... I think I'm dead here. Almost. Yep, there we go. That's what you got if you are out of position and spotted. In the meantime, we sunk one of the battleships from before. That's what flooding does to you. If you can't repair it, you are in a lot of trouble. So now there is only 1 battleship and a cruiser. Hopefully, oh, that looks like a good hit. So that will be a reset. Come on. Come on, hit him. He's trying to get away. Oh, can he dodge them? Nope! That was a hit. So, perfect. But we can't relax just yet. And the enemy carrier has come as well to help cap. Hopefully, another reset can be done if necessary. But battleship is now focusing fire on this carrier. Nope. Another squadron goes out. Let's see what they can do. Yeah, he's focusing on the battleship, alright. Holy crap. This battleship is so beaten up. He has to dodge torpedoes, he can't afford to take a hit. Well, for 1, he will probably sunk, and to 2, they will reset, and that will be the end of this game. It's really tense. Looks good. And there we go! We managed to squeeze out a win out of that. I think we did our fair share as well. 17 torpedo hits, 10 planes shot down, 2 ships sunk, 10 times we caused flooding. So let's see how we did on XP. Not bad. Yeah, only the tier 5 Congo did more damage than us. He has taken out 4 enemy ships, and look at that. From the 17 torpedoes we scored hits with, we achieved almost 66,000 damage. And we scored hits on, well, pretty much all the priority targets. All the enemy battleships, so that's excellent. So, not a bad run in the Langley. So this was my quick review on the USS Langley and some introduction to the carrier gameplay. We will definitely have a lot more of this in the upcoming videos, and probably later down the line we will also have a look at how to launch torpedoes as well, both using the automatic and the manual aiming system. Do you like carrier gameplay, or are you more a battleship type of person? Let me know in the comments below. To close the week, tomorrow we will start our journey on the Japanese tech tree as well, looking at the Tier 1 cruiser the Katori, another little fun box. Take care guys, and I see you soon.